Murti Narayana Seva Kunja Bajay Ramya Govardhana Giro Sada Radha Kunja Rasananda Datta Seva Pradayana Guru Narayana Kyamtam Vande Vinoda Prashtakam Yatpada Smiti Matrena Damodara Prasidati Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Prayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurachishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanchana Mostute Rakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kshiptasya Kamadita Rangamadya Kripamayi Tvam Sharanam Prabanda Vrinde Namaste Charanaya Vrindan Bhajami Radha Maravinda Netram Smarami Radha Madhura Smitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Garatram Tato Manyasti Gatir Nagapi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, of my Chastananda, Pranam, thousand times, Lord Shri Paramaratnam, Guru Pada, Varma, Vishnu Pada, Sotra Shishman, Bhakti Vedanta Narayana, Sai Maharaj, Shri Gurudev. Second of my Chastananda, Pranam, thousand times, Lord Shri Shri Rupananga Gauri, Guru Vargan, of my Chastananda, Pranam, Dawes and Vaishnava, the Vaishnava. Continue reading from Srimad-Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 34. Gurudev's commentary, Prakash Pravritti. This verse in question was Indriyasya Indriyas Arte Raga Dvesa Vastito Tayorna Vasham Agacento Hya Asya Paripantino. All the senses are invariably controlled by attachment and aversion to their respective objects. Therefore, one should never come under the sway, because such attachment and aversion impede auspiciousness for the sadhaka. So don't be attached and averse. There are two sides of this one coin. Too much averse to something means you are actually attached. So, aversion and attachment. You shouldn't be averse and attached to the object of the senses. Rather, you should see everything as Hari Sambandhi Vastuna. Everything is in relation to Shri Hari. And if it is able to be used, dovetailed in the service of Krishna, then we can engage them. If it is unfavorable, then we avoid it. Prakashika Vritti. The senses are of two types. Jnanendriya, knowledge acquiring senses, and Karmendriya, working senses. There are 5 Jnanendriyas. The eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, which accept form, sound, smell, taste, and touch as their respective objects of gratification. There are also 5 Karmendriyas, speech, hands, legs, anus, and genitals, which perform the actions of speaking, accepting, moving, evacuating, and procreating. The sadhaka of bhakti engages these 11 senses, including the mind, in various acts of service for the pleasure of Bhagavan, Shri Krishna, instead of enjoying the various sense objects himself. In this way, he can easily overpower the uncontrolled senses, and by the use of these controlled senses, he can attain the supreme goal of life. So there's the Jnanendriyas and the Karmendriyas, knowledge acquiring senses and the working senses. And then you have the mind, which is the king of all the senses. It's 11. When they describe 11 senses, it means 5 Karmendriyas, 5 Jnanendriyas, and the mind. And Javidadvaita described the universe as 26 elements. And we can see the 5 Jnanendriyas, 5. Then the 5 objects of the senses. That makes 10. Then the 5 Karmendriyas, 15. The 5 material elements, earth, water, fire, air, that's 20. Then you have mind, intelligence, false ego, that's 23. Chitta, that means it's the 5 most subtle and fine finest covering, that is in the last covering of the Atma itself. Then is 25 is the Atma itself, and 26 is Paramatma. All these elements, your ingredients are inside the universe. Without the Atma itself, without Paramatma, the universe couldn't sustain itself. So there, everything else is for the purpose of the Atma and the Paramatma. Even though the Atma and the Paramatma, they are not material, they are spiritual, but they are counted as ingredients or elements of the universe, because they are inside the universe. Even Garbhodakasai Vishnu, he's inside, he enters the universe that he creates. Mahavishnu enters it as Garbhodakasai. Then Ksirodakasai Vishnu enters each atom into every single form of life, the body, where the Atma is. The Paramatma is all pervading. So the senses are uncontrolled, and we can overpower them. How? By engaging them in Krishna's service. They come under control. Discipline. We have to discipline the senses by forcibly engaging in Krishna's service. And ultimately, the senses will become accustomed to the service and the environment. If you are in the beginning, like devotees, they come to the temple, then waking up in the morning, taking cold showers, all these things, some inconvenience. But after some time, the activities become natural for them. Doing parikrama, now like Purushottam Vrat Program. Every month, like last time we did every day Govardhan Parikrama. Like first 3 or 4 days, your feet are sore, body is aching. But then after, like before the 5th day, if you're doing every day, then your body and your mind, they become peaceful. You know that every day I'm doing Govardhan Parikrama. Then your body, your feet become hard, your body becomes accustomed, and then it is very easy then after. So it's about, sometimes it is necessary to, the senses are always running to the sense objects, naturally, it's their dharma. So we need to engage them by forcing Krishna's service in the beginning. Then, slowly, your mind, in the beginning, it will be your enemy. It will rebel. Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like service. And your mind will think bad thoughts, even while doing devotional service. So unpleasant thoughts may come, or offensive thoughts even. But after some time, when you do devotion again and again, then your mind will gradually learn to accept, oh, this is my life. I'm doing this every day. Why am I hating on this? Why am I disturbed for this? Then your mind will become your friend. It will encourage you. It will happily engage in these activities. So it's about becoming habituated also. Ultimately, we shouldn't just be habituated, we should give our heart to that activity. But at least if you, by force doing every day, then the senses in the mind, they will come under control. But the heart can only come under control by force. The heart you'll have to offer. Practice this mood of offering your heart in Krishna's service. Then once you engage in devotional service, then once real devotion awakens in the heart, then you will never leave that devotion. Pure devotion, pure bhakti. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes Krishna as saying, "O Arjuna, if you think that the jiva's acceptance of sense objects will make most of them more addicted to worldliness, and that liberation from the bondage of karma will thus become impossible, then listen to my words. It is not true that all objects are detrimental to the spiritual progress of the jivas. It is only the attachment and aversion to the sense objects which are the greatest enemies of the jiva. As long as you have this material body, you have to accept sense objects. For this reason, you should accept sense objects and at the same time control attachment and aversion towards them. But this doesn't mean that you accept anything. There's some rules and regulations you have to follow. You cannot accept any sense object. Something that is unfavorable to your ashram, unfavorable to principles of bhakti, you cannot accept them thinking that, oh, I am another verse. Anukuliyasa sankalpa, partikuliyasa vivarjana. Accept that which is favorable, reject that which is unfavorable. In what way do we accept which is unfavorable? Now, Bhajanera Jaha Pratikulataha Dridha Bhave Tyagivo. What Bhave? Dridha Bhave. Dridha Bhave means with a very firm determination, very strong mindset. Give up. Something is unfavorable, strongly you should give up. If you think that, oh, I cannot cross the river because there's so much running water. I'll wait for the river to dry up, then I'll cross. It's impossible. These desires, they will never give up. Desires are flowing in the heart like a raging river. But, and they will not go away by themselves. Unfavorable desires. So you have to give them up and accept favorable ones instead. In what way do we accept favorable? Anukuliyasa sankalpa. Before Kartik we do sankalpa. What does that mean? We make a vow in witness of the dham. Or we say the time, the place, the dham, all the witnesses, everything. Then we make a sankalpa. We want to do this Kartik Vrat for the purpose of achieving the Radha Dasya. This vow, this oath, that I am going to accept this austerity, this Vrat, for the purpose of attaining this. It becomes official. Then we pour water from your hand. Then it becomes demigod, everyone witnesses. Then it's like official. It's like a written, like in modern day you have a written agreement. You go in front of the register, or in front of the court. Both parties, they sign the document and they stamp it, and it's actually filed into the court, into the register, and it goes into the system. Then if there's some dispute over the land in the future, the courts can pull that record from their land record from their database, and then it can be resolved very easily. If you do a land deal without registering in the registered office properly, it's just you do it on the stamp paper or anything, then it loses so much of its value. It loses so much of its potency. Because then they can say that, oh, you never did this officially. Okay, maybe it is your land. But why did you go through the official process? Then the court case, then there's a risk of losing. So, sankalpa means you're making an official, you're registering officially with demigods, the Lord, everyone, that I am going to do this vrata. Therefore, then after the vrata, when you do after completing the sankalpa, then the fruit of that vrata will come. But if you never perform sankalpa, then how will the fruit of the vrata come? Then no one knows that you did the vrata. You have not announced it. You have not made a vow in front of the Lord, in front of the earth, in front of the Ganga, Yamuna. Then it loses its potency. And also you will not be so determined to follow also. Once you are bound by contract, you will fulfill the agreements of the contract. Like in the worldly sense, if you are bound by a working contract, if you don't fulfill the terms of the contract, you will be punished, fined, you will not get paid, salary, whatever. You have to fulfill the conditions of the contract, then you get the fruit of it. So when you do a sankalpa, you are making a contract with the Lord. You are saying, I'm going to offer my heart, my love, everything. But I only want one thing. I don't want anything material. I don't want anything mundane. I'm only begging for one thing. Please make me your servant, my Lord. You are praying for something selfless. So then after you perform the vrata, then that fruit of that vrata will come. So this is what sankalpa. It means to make a fixed vow, a determined vow. It's a conscious endeavor to be disciplined and follow a routine every day. So how anukuli as a sankalpa. Therefore whatever is favorable, it should be done in this mood as a sankalpa. In a regulated, fixed way. For a certain purpose. That is what? Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya sadhya bhava sarnavida nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatam sadhyata, to achieve bhakti. Then it is called sadhana. Then when bhakti is performed to achieve prema bhakti, then it is called abhideya bhav sadhana. And then prem is performed with the object of what? Pleasing, satisfying Radha and Krishna. So, therefore, this is not, this is attachment and aversion which are the greatest enemy of the jivas. And as long as you have this material body, you will have to accept the sense objects. And you should accept sense objects at the same time control attachment and aversion to them. But yes, this doesn't mean that you can accept anything. It means you can do anything which is unfavorable towards your ashram, towards your that is unfavorable to bhakti, all these things. You cannot be so reckless and careless. Like in the West, we know when people follow Ekadashi, then they are not the standard. Gurudev said India is the gold standard. We don't take carrots. Swami Maharaj.Bhagavad allowed carrots, but the Western carrot is different than the Indian carrot. It's orange, it's less tamasic. And in India, it's like red, like blood. This Katar, Kastarishi, he is performing a Gomeda Yajna. Then the process that you take the old cow, you cut it up, chant mantra, and then you offer that into the fire. With mantras, and after that, you do the Purnahati, the new cow comes out with a new body from the Yajna. You're giving a new life to that old cow. So, he cut up the cow, he was preparing his Yajna. The time his wife was pregnant, she stole a chunk of the meat. Then he did the Yajna and everything, offered. After the cow came out, but it was missing a part. The husband said, "Oh, why is some part missing? That means some part of the cow I did not offer to the Yajna. Where has it gone missing?" And he asked the wife, "Did you take?" And she confessed, "Yes. I'm pregnant, so pregnant women, they have the desire to eat all kinds of nonsense things. They cannot control their mind and sense. So I had desire to eat this meat." So then he said, "Oh, we're going to have to throw this away." So he took that, and as he was carrying that meat, drops of blood fell from the meat into the ground. The masur dal was produced. The bone, he buried into the ground, that became garlic. The skin that was on the meat, that became onion. And the actual meat itself, which he threw away into the river, that itself became carrot. No, he didn't throw it in the river, he put it in the ground and buried it actually also. That also became carrot. Why? Because he had chanted mantra already. The mantra had made that meat alive. But when they combined the yajna, then it comes out as a cow. But individually, with the power of mantra, they all manifested as form of this red dal, the red lentil, onion, garlic, and carrot. Therefore, eating carrot is not different than eating meat. Therefore, we don't take this gaja, this red carrot. It's sastra, it's tamasic. But in the West, it is orange carrot. The Buddha said we don't even take this also. But in the West, with Prabhupada allowed, then okay, there's some concession for Western. But in India, there's no concession. They don't allow. So, people in the West, they have a little less ideal conception. And sometimes they eat quinoa and ekadashi, all is made from bamboo. And they have, we're eating ramdana, we're eating this one, that one. So many different things, buckwheat. Buckwheat is allowed, but the name itself is wheat, buckwheat. But still, certain items that we don't take on ekadashi. Also, when Prabhupada says, if you want to follow ekadashi, you should only take fruits. Or do niljal. Then you will be really safe. But sometimes people in the West, they drink sodas and ekadashi. Oh, soda, what is that? Or they cook with sunflower oil. So they don't, with a firm determination, they don't give up the objects of their senses. And also, they accept objects of the senses thinking they are favorable. But they're not actually. Therefore, this becomes, they are not careful, and therefore they actually create obstacles to their own bhakti. Therefore, attachment and aversion, we should avoid these, but at the same time we have to follow the rules in Shastra. We have to follow the rules and regulations. We cannot jump here and there. If you are brahmachari, you cannot be speaking to girls. And if you are brahmacharini, you cannot be speaking to boys. Even though there may be that interaction may be pleasing to the senses. You cannot accept sense objects just because you want to accept it. You're going to have to control attachment and aversion. And be careful in this way. So many examples can be there. So here it says that for this reason you should accept sense objects. So when you are accepting sense objects, only those which are actually favorable, that are allowed in suffering, can you accept them. And in those ones you remain free from aversion and detachment. Not every certain sense objects are impossible to not be averse to or attached to. Those ones you have to be given up them. Not everything can be utilized in Bhagavan service. Not all Rakshasas are Prahlad. Not all monkeys are Hanuman. Not all crows are Kakabushan. You understand? Not every monkey. Or they are, like in India, people they have this concept. A monkey, and feed the monkey. Why Hanuman's dynasty? But you leave the monkey alone, then what will you do? Stealing your this, that, cutting havoc, biting, so many things, doing nonsense. Not everything is favorable. You cannot engage everything in Krishna's service. Some things have to be avoided. In this way, you think, Jambavan was a bear. I'll go embrace the bear. Then what will happen? The bear, like we heard the sadhu, he was walking in the back of the river. He saw one night someone had thrown their blanket in the river. Nice furry blanket. So winter is soon coming. I'll take this blanket out and dry it, wash it, and I'll have at least something to stay warm. He went in the river to pull the blanket out, but why is so heavy, this blanket? And he's pulling, then that blanket came alive. It was not a blanket, it was a bear. The backside of the hide of the bear. Turned around and he ate that sadhu. So this is, you think that everything I will utilize? No, not everything is utilized in Krishna's service. Not everything is going to be favorable. If rules are rules. Dog comes in the temple, then what do? You take a stick and you chase it out. Dog has no position in there. But no, Shivananda said he had a dog. He fed the dog and he took to Puri and Mahaprabhu gave coconut pulp to the dog. He thinks, Prema, you are not Mahaprabhu and you are not Shivananda Sen. Dog is a dog, you chase the dog out. There's one dog here, he was guarding the street, never allowing any other dog to cow anything. But doing a very good job. Very good, very peaceful, barking night, everything. He was really the royal king of this area. When all the devotees they started feeding laddus, even I saw putting on plates, giving prasadam to the dog, giving milk to the dog, even taking the dog into the room, washing with shampoo and drying everything. Then Prabhuji saw these things, Vaishnava saw these things, this dog is nonsense. Now it's stealing the mind and energy and consciousness of the Vaishnava. Then he told one Brahmachari here, one person, he did dispose the dog, he took, put in a sack, took far away across the Yamuna and left there. Never come back. So, this is good. Not everything can be utilized in Krishna's service. You have to see what is Shastra saying. And then if it is possible, then without attachment and aversion, you can utilize it in Krishna's service. Otherwise, not. And how do we learn this? It's by hearing Harikatha. By seeing the examples of Guru and Vaishnava. Seeing their conduct, seeing their behavior, hearing from them, then we learn all these things gradually. What is good, what is not. Not all jivas are eligible to perform bhakti. Not all jivas are interested in bhakti. So many jivas, they come to the temple for so many personal reasons. You think, we should let everyone inside the temple. Everyone's a potential brahmachari, everyone's a potential congregation. Not like that. So many nonsense people, they come with the mentality of trying to steal or trying to destroy the temple, trying to take advantage of the temple. And then you cannot really help them because their mind is already, like we talked about the sankalpa, accepting what is favorable. So they have also taken a sankalpa. What is their sankalpa? Prahlad Maharaj describes that he says that first, Sadhu manya asura varga dehina sadasa mudna dhyam asasdhar tik atmadatam viha manda kupam tatam manoyam dahim ashtayata Krishna said Matel Krishna paratava sutava vitomi prajna griham rasana ananda gopi vishitam nisham puna sarita chandana. They have taken a griha vrata. Prahlad Maharaj says Matirna Krishna Paranta Satova. Their consciousness cannot be awoken towards Krishna. Said they themselves cannot awaken their consciousness, Nayak and others help them, or even the combination of both. They cannot be done. Why? Matirna Krishna Paranta Satova Mito Vipadyeta Griha Vratanam. They have taken a vrat. They are very determined to be griha. Here doesn't mean grihastha. Here means griha means griha. They want to be an enjoyer. They want to enjoy their senses, live in a house and have facility and aishwarya and opulence and enjoy. This is their vrata. The whole purpose of their being is to enjoy. They are very determined. This is their goal. So you tell them about Krishna, they are not going to accept. Nor they have any desire for. And even if they try themselves, maybe you try to help them, but ultimately because they are so determined to enjoy, they cannot give it up. Then later Prahlad Maharaj describes to Hiranyakashipu, then how can these people be helped? Nayasham matistava kuru kamanu speshartya anartha bhagamaya se bina mahapara rajobhiseka. He says that there also said only by the association or the mercy of a great Vaishnava, Maharaj.Bhagavad Vaishnava, by their mercy, by their fruit dust, then such a person can be helped. But sometimes it will take a long time. Not that actually the Vaishnava, they are able to liberate the whole universe, that's true. But ultimately the jiva has its own independence. Unless the jiva actually accepts, then how can you give? You can take a horse to water, but you cannot force it to drink. So, these people, they have accepted this griha vrata. They are very determined to enjoy, therefore they cannot be helped anywhere. Therefore not everyone in this temple, you can help, you cannot think I can help them. Guru said if someone has become offensive, is leaving the temple, and their mind is in that mood of fault fighting and criticizing, and they are determined to leave, don't think, I'll go save them. You can try to encourage them, help them. And if they accept, then good. But if you're thinking, you speak to them one time, 2 times, 3 times, so many times they're not accepting, so what will happen then? By their criticism, by their poison, they'll pollute you. And actually, they'll drag 2, 3 people along with them. Like a drowning man, if you don't know how to save a drowning man, then what happens? He'll panic, he'll hold on to you, and he will not let go of you, and he will drag you down in the water. So the rule is when you're saving a drowning man, what you do, you have to swim behind him. Behind the drowning man. This is the first number rule. And then you put his arms underneath his arms. So that he cannot grab you, catch you. And then you float. You hold him with one hand actually, and then you float, and then with one hand you paddle, and you go to the land. That is the rule. If you go from the front, he'll grab you and you both drown. So someone who is drowning, he'll drag 1, 2 people with him. So Guru Maharaj, they have said that if someone is therefore leaving with this, has this mentality, then you take a stick and you push him over first. Let him leave faster. Let him go, so then he won't take anyone with him. So many guests, people come to the temple. They always say, I want to leave everything, I want to join. What nonsense you want to join? You don't even know what this temple is. You've never been here before, what you will join? You don't know who we are, if you like it here or not. We don't know who you are, what you will join. Start coming to the temple, attend the programs, take some Mahaprasad, hear some Harikatha. See for yourself, this is Shastra's rules. Before accepting Guru, the disciple should stay in the ashram of the Guru and observe the Guru for some time. And the Guru should observe the disciple. And if the Guru is feeling satisfactory that he can help the disciple, then he will help. And if the disciple is feeling that he has faith in the Guru, then he will accept the Guru. Otherwise, no. Like we heard yesterday, Ekalabhya, he came, he wanted to accept Dronacharya as Guru. Dronacharya said no. He knew he is an inimical to the Bandhavas. He is against them. You cannot be my disciple. Then by force he made a murti of Dronacharya and started practicing, and he became so expert. And when Dronacharya saw his expertise, Then he said, okay, you were claiming I'm your guru, give me Guru Dakshina. What? Your right thumb. And he cut his thumb and gave his thumb. And ordinary foolish people, they pray, they Kalabya. Oh, look how much mystery he had for Guru. Look how he is disciple. He even gave his thumb to Guru. So he is giving a thumb, but a real disciple will give his head, give his life to Guru. What did Ekalabya give? He didn't do anything, give nothing to Guru. He didn't give up his independence. He didn't give his Atma to Guru. He never surrendered to Guru. He never followed the instruction and desire of Guru. If he really was a disciple of Dronacharya, then he would not have been inimical to the Pandavas. But Dronacharya wanted Arjuna to be the greatest archer. He wanted Arjuna to be successful. And he had affection for Arjuna. This was Dronacharya's internal mood, heart, desire. If Ekalabya was a real disciple, he would have supported Arjuna, helped him. But instead he was against. Means he is not a Guru Sevak, he is a Guru Drohi. Therefore Dronacharya knew he's a thorn, he's a problem. Therefore by removing his thumb, he took away the problem. But if Ekalabya would have kept his thumb, like we see during the Pandava, in the Mahabharata, which side did he choose? He chose the Kaurava side. He is fighting against the Pandavas. So if his thumb would have been intact, then he would have created so many problems for Arjuna and the Pandavas. So therefore, Dronacharya didn't want this. So he took his thumb, and the problem was resolved. Then he practiced archery with his left hand, but he never became so good. Ultimately, Krishna with his Sudarshan Chakra killed Ekalabya. So, this is the thing. Not everyone is, people want, I want to join the temple, I want this, I want that, I want to stay here forever. Okay, you stay for one day, then we'll see further. You're talking about forever, you never even stayed here one night. Now, I want to become a crorepati. But you haven't never earned 100 rupees in your life. You're talking about earning crores of rupees. First earn 100 rupees, then earn 1,000, then earn 10,000, then 1 lakh, like this. Build up your bank balance. Then we'll talk about crorepati. You want to join the temple and offer your life? Okay, at least one day you come and associate. Show some interest, show some desire. Only talking, this is not going to do anything. So many people, they come here. Oh, I want room, this and that. Then they come with so many ill intentions. Dharmadvaji, Mayavadi, Strisangi, Asadhus, Abhaktas, Vishais, Karmis, Yanis, Yogis, Tapis, Papis, all these different people that come to the temple looking for some benefit. Then what's going to happen? You accept them all in here, then they will not create disturbance for themselves, create disturbance for the Vaishnavas, make offense, and then their bhakti will be ruined, really. Any little shraddha they may have of faith, even that will be destroyed. Therefore, the expert Vaishnava, he knows how to neglect and reject also. Ishvara tad harineshu baliseshu disantucha prema maitri kripopeksha ya karoti samadhyama. He has love for the Lord, friendship with the Vaishnavas, his mercy on the innocent, and he neglects the inimical. So people who are in this inimical mood, this enjoying tendency, then you cannot, they should stay in their own place. Krishna says in the Gita, follow their swadharma, follow their duty. Slowly, by performing if they perform their duty in a mood of nishkam, in a mood of detached manner, their heart will become purified. Slowly, these people you keep at a distance. They hear the holy name, they take some Mahaprasad, they see the sadhu, they'll get some sukriti. Slowly, over maybe this life, maybe not, maybe in some lifetime, their sukriti will arrive and they'll be able to really enter into sadhu sangha and perform and serve the sadhu, hear from the sadhu. Therefore, the Vaishnava, the expert, you can see which jiva is with what disposition, what is their mentality. And therefore, even though all jivas, they should be offered into the service of the Lord, but the Vaishnava, they don't know that everyone is not useful for us. They cannot be helped at this moment. And therefore, then they are rejected, they are kept at distance. Not everything is useful. It's like wet wood and dry wood. You try to start a fire with wet wood, what happens? No fire, only smoke. So people who have no eligibility, no samskar, no desire, you explain so many things to them. It does not, no fire lights. They can only able to accept and follow anything you say. It's a waste of time. You take some dry wood, little bit of contact with fire, immediately catches fire. People with proper samskar, proper attitude and desire, little bit you speak something to them, they're willing to accept. It's a good sign. If they accept what you're saying quickly, that means some samskar is there, some humility is there. Then they can be helped. Then we can work with that. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he talks. He says that he told the children in his class, he said that this verse, anyway, he said this, he said to his students that you should accept bhakti from a young age. Why? Because this is human form is very rare, and from a young age you should engage in bhakti. He describes these children. And then the example is given by our Guru Varga, saying like, if you take fresh clay, you can mold it into pottery and anything, make pots and everything from it, build house even, anything. It's very useful and very helpful. But if you take old clay, hardened clay, then what can you use that for? It's going to use it for anything. It is almost useless. You take young bamboo and old bamboo. You take young bamboo, you can weave baskets and make so many things with it, chairs and tables and anything. Old bamboo, what can you use it for? Very limited use, very not useful. You have a clean sheet of paper. You can paint on it, write on it, poetry, do so many things. But if you have a paper which is already written on, then what do you write on it? What do you paint on it? You have a parrot which is very young. You have an old parrot. Try to teach the old parrot to speak, he cannot learn anything. But the baby parrot, you teach it, it learns how to speak. You take a fresh flower from the tree, it has fragrance, it has beauty, everything. You offer it to the Lord. But a flower that was picked 12 hours ago or 24 hours ago, it is already wilted and lost its fragrance, and how will you offer that to the Lord? But in this way, not everyone has the samskar or the mentality and or the desire to do devotional service. Therefore, they cannot be engaged also. So therefore, this place is not appropriate for them. Therefore, they by self keep some distance. And when the time is right, then they'll come and they'll be able to accept and engage. But if you think that no, all jivas should be helped, let everyone come. All objects of the senses should be engaged in Bhagavan's service. Then what will happen? So many unfavorable elements will come and you will not be able to do your sadhana bhajan. You may even deviate from the path of bhakti. Therefore, the Vaishnava, they are very expert. Reject and accept what is favorable and unfavorable. They know which jivas can be helped and which cannot. Vedti vidyam sadityam cha bhutanam agadim gatim utpati parayascha sabhacha bhagavan iti. The Vaishnava, Ashray Bhagavan, he knows, he can see the destination of the jiva. He knows how to manifest bhakti in his heart and destroy his anarthas. He knows what is transcendent, what is ignorance. He knows how to discriminate and he can help. So, here, said that if you act in this way, you can deal with sense objects. Which way? Controlling attachment and aversion, without becoming bound to them. You will become detached from sense objects by gradually eliminating the attachment and aversion which develops when one falsely identifies the body with the self. In brief, you will develop yukta vairagya. I have not instructed you to subdue attachment to objects and activities related to me, Sri Bhagavan, which stimulate one's bhakti. Nor have I instructed you to be averse to objects or activities which are obstacles to bhakti. Rather, I have only instructed you to control the attachment and aversion which is related to selfish pleasure and which promotes a temperament that is opposed to bhakti. This should be understood. So in other words, if something is inimical to devotion, then you have to reject it very strongly. You have to be averse to it. Like Hanuman. Gurudev said Hanuman was Chinadapi Sunichana. Why? Because Ravan, he burnt down Lankapuri. Why? Ravan is a Rakshasa, he's called Sita. And he's averse to Ram and all devotees, everyone, all living entities. So with these Badmashas, then Hanuman had to reveal his Sarup. Had to burn down that Lanka. This was real Chinadapi Sunichana. If someone is criticizing Guru Vaishnava, then you just listen. Like Draupadi is being disrobed in the assembly hall and Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama and others, they only heard. Then what happened? They got lessons. Because of this Leela, they actually didn't object. And because in that pastime, then what happens? Then they also become affected by the offense. So someone is criticizing Guru Vaishnava, it means you tolerate their criticism. So after you cut out that person's tongue. If you cannot cut out that person's tongue, you should leave that place and you should take bath in the Ganga with all your clothes on. Cutting out the tongue doesn't mean that, okay, now we take our kurta knife and we grab their tongue and we cut it off. Doesn't mean that we cut their tongue out physically. Cutting the tongue means you should give them such an answer that they are unable to speak. They become silent. This means cutting the tongue. You should silence them. And if you cannot do that, then you should beg for forgiveness, chanting the holy name, jump into the river, purify yourself for the offense of hearing that criticism. If anyone is criticizing, you go to senior Vaishnavas and you can tell them, oh, this I heard this, that. They'll resolve your doubts. They can address the situation also better than you. So, Nartanda Thakur says, Kama Krishna Arpana Krodi Dveshi Jane. Our lust should be offered to Krishna. Our anger should be used against those who are enemy to the Lord. But doesn't mean we get into fist fights. We buy brass knuckles and we go down the street and with a gun and we storm their temple and we start banging on, getting into fist fight. Doesn't mean that. You don't go against the injunction of scripture. But the same way, if someone is out of hand and acting angry in a way, then whatever is necessary, that has to be done. Ultimately, in the Mahabharata war, why did Krishna adopt the force? Because that was the only last option. Krishna tried to avoid the war, everything. But when they saw there was no other option, then they went to war. And in that fighting, as Krishna explained to Arjuna, it is not a sinful activity. It is actually, for Arjuna, it is devotion, it is bhakti. So, sometimes in Badmashis, they may come to the temple, this and that. Then they have to be dealt with in an appropriate way. So, but Prabhuji said if anyone has neck beads on the neck, then never raise their hand giving it to them. Never hit anybody. But if there is some obstacle, some aversion, there's some problem, then we can go to senior Vaishnava, they know how to deal with the situation. So, aversion has to be utilized in the proper way. Doesn't mean that you tolerate all nonsense. Someone criticizing this and that, disrespecting the Vaishnavas. Like the Vaishnavas, some years back the Vaishnavas were coming Mangalarti, and there was one old woman, she's always coming and disturbing properly, during the Vaishnava, talking this, that, speaking nonsense. Vaishnavas were very disturbed. Then some Vaishnavas were defending that person. Vaishnavas were so angry, shouting, roaring like a lion. Someone is doing nonsense, then you have to be averse to that. You cannot accept that in your heart. Oh, this is okay. You have to be averse. Otherwise, if you're not averse, strongly averse to that, then you will do this. That mood, you show sympathy and empathy for that person, then you will commit the same offense. You will participate in that same offense. Whether it should be given up. So he's saying that when I instruct you to control attachment and aversion, that is through sense pleasure, which promotes a temperament that is opposed to bhakti. Therefore, this should be understood. We'll stop here and Shloka 35 or here. Gaur Pramananda Hare Hare Riva Jai Shri Guru Padma Ki Jai Guru Parampara Ki Satchinanda Gaur Hare Ki Jai Saparsada Gaur Hare Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Sankirtan Gari Bhakti Vinda Ki Jai Ananda Gauti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Samavada Bhakti Vinda Ki Jai Jai Gaur Pramananda Hare Hare Riva.
Chapter 2? What? Chapter 2? Right.